folks, as our roads become increasingly busy, the safety of our children remains a critical concern. This morning we explore the risks facing young pedestrians and what can be done to better protect them with the Island Traffic Authority's Manager of Corporate Communications and Public Relations, Dontae Matthews. Morning, Dontae. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, you?
I can't complain. Give thanks. We're talking about 17 and under here.
Yes.
And you said since 2020, we have lost how many?
128.
128
yes.
in less than 6 years.
Yes.
And these are pedestrians, these are in car accidents, they were involved in a bus, what?
So there are different categories. So we have private motor vehicle passengers, pedestrians, those are the top two. But we also have a few pedal cyclists and also motorcyclists. So we're talking about children who were riding illegally. Yeah. Based on the age group that we've been seeing with the motorcycle.
Let's look at the pedestrians.
Yes.
You don't have to tell me the numbers, but why? What's happening? They're crossing the road at the wrong place?
Yes. What's we consider, there are several places that we consider safe places to cross, and some we consider unsafe places. And also walking on certain roadways. You know, you have urban roads, rural roads, and so when some of them are walking around corners, you know, sometimes they don't see the vehicles, and then you have those who step out into the roadway. Distracted walking is another issue. We call it, well, you have distracted walking, but there's something we like to promote called defensive walking, right? And it's about being alert, putting away the phone, ensuring that you look properly when crossing. So those are some of the issues that we are seeing when it comes to our pedestrian fatalities.
Yeah, are we doing enough though in terms of teaching the children about the proper ways to cross the roads?
Well, the Island Traffic Authority, we have an active public education program in schools. So even tomorrow we're going out, Friday, for this month, but every month we go out. It's a part of our mandate to promote road safety. So we have this program where we go in and we have the theory where we teach them about the different types of road users, safe places to cross, such as at a pedestrian crossing, the pedestrian bridge, at the traffic light when it's on red for all vehicles to stop, and also to encourage them to wait until all vehicles come to a complete stop before crossing. Then you have the unsafe places to cross, such as at a corner, behind large vehicles, right, in front parked vehicles, and where the road is not, where it's not a safe place for them to cross, right? In addition to that, we have a practical aspect to our presentation. So we have the curb drill, and the curb drill is where we teach them to cross by raising their hand. So when they raise their hand, what it does, it elevates them so that the vehicles can see that a child wants to cross. And they should look right. That's something we always try to remind them, that you look right first. In Jamaica, we look to the right first, then left, then right again. And they should keep the hand up until they get across. That's when they put the hand down. So we have that program. I know the police, they have their program as well. And sometimes we collaborate when we go to the schools. We carry a vinyl replica of the pedestrian crossing signs, and we teach them how to use the roadway properly. And then we assess them after, and then we reach back out to the schools to see how they're doing. And we have not been receiving reports of any incidents since our presentations in the schools. So pedestrian fatalities as it relates to our children, we have seen a decline in that number.
I think, and I almost got myself in trouble for two reasons. One, I almost hit a youngster, and two, someone almost ran in my back. Because I saw the youngster, but he was speaking to someone, and then he just turned around and started to come across. He was at the pedestrian crossing.
Yes.
But I'm like here. When I looked behind, I knew if I stopped, somebody was going to. So I went through, and I kind of go,
feel bad.
I felt bad, because obviously I should have stopped. But he came out like, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate, but like he came out like there, and I'm here.
Yes.
You know, and I just know if I did stop, it probably would have been a bigger accident, because maybe he hit me and then I hit him. So I just kept going to ensure. Isn't that one of the problems? Because he was at a pedestrian crossing. So he was crossing at the right place.
Yes.
But they just decide they're at pedestrian crossing, them just walk out.
Yes, and even though the law says that pedestrians have a right of way at the pedestrian crossing, what the law also says is that the pedestrian must give the driver a reasonable amount of time to stop. So not because you see the white, the line, the marking, you're not supposed to just walk across. The driver must be able to stop in a reasonable time for you to get across the road. And at some pedestrian crossings, you have what we call push buttons, pedestrian push buttons. And what we find sometimes, persons push the button and they think that as they push the button, it just gives them the right to walk across the road. But no, you're supposed to push the button, wait until the light changes for the vehicles to stop before you get across. And I know we're talking about children, but it goes for the adults as well.
Yeah, yeah. Are there certain groups or locations that are more vulnerable than others?
In terms of the children?
Yeah, age groups.
Yes, so we realize that the younger ones, especially those who don't walk with an adult, so we do recommend that adults walk with children.
To what, up to what age?
About 0 to 7, they're about zero. Well, of course, the will be the babies will be in hand, but we recommend up to about 7 or 8, right, before they can actually walk on their own. And when they're walking on the roadway, if there's no, they should walk on a sidewalk. If there's no sidewalk, they should walk on the right side facing oncoming traffic. That way they can see the flow of traffic, and if they need to take action, they can do so.
Yeah. How do you actually, communicate and connect with the schools? Because what I find as well is at the time when school is over, you'll find a lot of these youngsters, they're out on the road, they're playing, they're unconscious of what's happening. Yes. How do you get the schools to also reinforce these safety measures that you are trying to go around and, educate them about?
All right. So in addition to our interventions within the schools, we have partnerships, or some schools actually have set days or set months where they know, all right, this day in October, this day in May, we're going to be inviting persons to come and speak to road safety. We have also heard that some schools have now included road safety in certain curriculum, right? There's also clubs. We have partnered with agencies such as JSIF, and they have introduced road safety clubs in some schools, right? So what it does is there's a club where you have that focus on road safety, teaching them signs and markings, rights of way, all of those things. So it helps them to get that reinforcement in. And then what we do, we go in and we try to test them. So, we have those little puzzles, those little demonstrations. We create videos and we send them so that the schools can, through their guidance and counseling department, of course, and other measures.
Yep. Yeah. You may have answered this before as we come to the end of the interview. Is it bad road usage for our youngsters? Why we're losing them? Is that the biggest crime for the youngsters, or is because we're not driving properly?
I would say it's a combination. So yes, we have some children who are not doing what they're supposed to do on the road, but then we have some drivers who are also distracted, who are speeding, and they don't. So the light is on red for them to stop. A pedestrian is crossing, but you decide you want to overtake because you're trying to rush to somewhere. So it's a combination of different issues.
Yeah.
Well, you have a big job. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Dontae Matthews, Manager of Corporate Communications and Public Relations at the Island Traffic Authority.